Hello guys, today we are starting the next topic or the organ, that is breast, and first lecture is anatomy of breast. So this is very important. So what is a breast? Breast is milk producing gland composed of mass of glandular plus fibrous and fatty tissue, and it contains no muscle. You are well aware of this. So this is a typical diagram or picture of breast. You can say this is cross sectional anatomy of breast. I will explain in the future slides. So you can see it extends. The protuberant part of the human breast is of line. Extend is second to sixth ribs, extending from lateral border of sternum to the anterior axillary margin. So let us define it: second to sixth rib, sternum, lateral margin to anterior axillary line, and this is the region of breast. So let us again define it more clearly. A thin layer of mammary tissue extends from clavicle to the 7th or the 8th ribs, and from midline to the edge of the latissimus dorsi, that is the margins of mastectomy. So this is very important, in addition to the protuberant part of the breast which is seen on surface anatomy. So axillary tail is what? It is also called as axillary tail of Spence. It is extension of the tissue of breast that extend into the axilla. What is the significance? In normal subject it is maybe palpable, and in few it can be seen premenstrually or during lactation. A well-defined axillary tail sometimes mistaken for a enlarged lymph node or a lymphoma, so be cautious about this. So this is what anatomy of breast. We will be describing this portion which will have lobule. The lobule is also called as the milk gland. You can see here is the lobule. It is the structural unit of the mammary gland. The number and size varies, most numerous in obviously young adult, and 10 to 100 lobules empty via ductules into lactiferous duct. So you can see these are the lactiferous duct and lobules are opening in this. You can also see lactiferous duct is called a transport milk from the milk gland, lined with the spiral arrangement of contractile myoepithelial cell, and is provided with a terminal ampulla. So this is ampulla. Ampulla is the reservoir for the milk or abnormal discharges. Now let us again redefine this. You can see these are the projections of fibrous tissue within the breast, and it are attached from superficial fascia, you can see, to the skin of the overlying breast, and these ligaments account for the dimpling of the skin overlying a carcinoma. So ligament of Cooper is responsible for the dimpling. Now again we see more detail about areola. It contains involuntary muscle arranged in concentric rings as well as radially in the subcutaneous tissue. So this is the, you can say, areola. And let us define more structures. Areola epithelium contains numerous sweat gland and sebaceous gland. You can see this. Now Montgomery tubercles are these ones. What are these? These are sebaceous gland and last during pregnancy and serve to lubricate the nipple during lactation. Now again, nipple is covered by thick skin with corrugations. Near apex lie the orifices of the lactiferous duct. You can see these are the lactiferous ducts, and here are the orifices of the lactiferous duct. It contains smooth muscle fibers arranged concentrically and longitudinally. Thus, it is an erectile structure which point outwards. This is the reason for its erectile structure. Let us explain the vascular supply. So, arterial supply is by axillary artery which supplies the outer half of the breast. It is also supplied by the internal mammary artery which supplies the inner half of the breast. So outer half is supplied by axillary, inner by the internal mammary. Venous drainage is through perforating branch of internal thoracic vein, perforating branch of posterior intercostal vein, and tributaries of axillary vein. These are the drainage for the breast. Nerve supply is, you know, second to sixth intercostal nerves, sympathetic branch. Skin is supplied by anterior and the lateral branches of the 4th, 5th and the 6th intercostal nerves. Let us define axillary lymphatic drainage, or not axillary, lymphatic drainage. So lymphatics of the breast drain predominantly into the axillary and internal mammary lymph nodes. So these are axillary, these are internal mammary lymph nodes. Now the axillary nodes receive approximately 85% of drainage, which can be seen through the diagram. Now there are many classification, or these are divided into many groups. So lateral lie along the axillary vein, anterior lie along the lateral thoracic vessels, posterior lie along the subscapular vessel, central is embedded in the fat in the center of the axilla. Interpectoral are also called a rotor's node. They lie between the pectoralis major and the pectoralis minor muscle. Apical is, these are the, you can say, groups of axillary nodes. So apical is above the level of pectoralis minor and in continuity with the lateral nodes, and which receive the afferent of all the other axillary nodes. Apical nodes are also in continuity with the supraclavicular nodes and drain, you can say, into the subclavian lymph trunk, which enters the great vein directly or via the thoracic duct or the jugular trunk. There is one more thing, which is sentinel node. What is sentinel node? Is the first node draining the tumor bearing area of the breast. So it can be any node, which is the first node that is draining the tumor area bed, depending on the location of the tumor. There is one more group, you can say, internal mammary nodes are fewer in number. You have seen in the diagram, they lie along the internal mammary vessels and deep to the plane of costal cartilages. They drain the posterior third of the breast. You are well aware of that. Thank you so much. Next we'll come with some other relevant topic which is of importance to you. Thank you so much.